And here comes Milo, big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
No, gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Zwack.
A push from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
For the final race of the season, 11 to be exact, the QSR Simulations Cup Series is ready to conclude its season. But before we can do so, we have to come to you live from the virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway, live here on iRacing. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper. Alongside me here tonight is Alexander Gagnon, and we've put on a great show here for the QSR Simulations Cup Series, and the chase for the Cup. It's always a great title when you can go out there and best any foe. And with the 5 wins this season, it looks like Jeremy Burns has that wrapped up, Alex.
Yeah, he's had a great season. You can see the gap there from Burns back to Lindsay Harrison. I mean, he's just been surreal, especially in the regular season. 4 victories there, and then picking up the victory last week to really put himself in this position where he doesn't need to go out and force something to happen here tonight at Atlanta. Really, probably smooth sailing there for the 19 of Burns, but still a lot of positions to fight for here in that top 12. You can see a lot of those guys only separated by a handful of points in the mix here.
Yeah, especially there between Chris Nail, Darrell Flanagan, only 2 points separating those 2 drivers, and then 3 points separate Zach Rivali and Andrew Allen. So there's quite a few positions, and you go back to Brooks Potts, but 397 points. Brooks Potts actually done for the season, and Patrick Hernandez realistically pretty much out of the picture of gaining a position. It's unfortunate for some of these guys because they had solid efforts in a lot of these tracks here this season, but then they just get caught up in things and things change. I'll get you a look at the track map real quick while we're gridding. Atlanta Motor Speedway, built July 31st, 1960, officially opened up in Hampton, Georgia. 1.54 miles, 24-degree banking, and you're currently looking at the B-roll for the new configuration of this racetrack, but let's take you down trackside and show you what the new one looks like. And while we do so, let's get the grid up on the screen. Joe Weaver is going to qualify on the pole here tonight with a 30.965. Beside him, Daniel Molnix in the number 6 fast car. He's going to start second. Third spot's going to go to Christian Rodrigo, Austin Dowdy in fourth. Fifth position, Ronnie Joyner, Jeremy Burns, the points leader in sixth. Seventh, Daryl Flanagan, Zach Rivali. In the top 10, Ethan Wisnowski, Quentin Stewart. We're going to roll through these kind of quickly. We got 17 cars here tonight, and we're getting ready to go green rather quick. So there's the names on your screen, but pace car is pulling off, and the field rounded out by Bill Carnahan. Let's go green flag racing here in Atlanta. Already off to a hard start there.
The 83 already into the wall here on the opening lap. That restart was doomed from the beginning. It looked like the 28 already had clipped the wall before all that, but it looks like Quentin Stewart's going to be the big loser there.
Yeah, we stay green somehow through all of that.
Don't ask me how. That absolutely should have triggered a caution. I mean, the 83 was up off the ground with cars directly behind it. iRacing deciding to let him run here early on, but can't say I agree with that one.
Let's back it up a little bit more here on the replay. Let's find that 83 car.
Contact with the 88 of Dowdy.
So a little bit of Dowdy's race in the Podium 500 carrying over here. That's a cheap shot for Dowdy. I apologize for that.
Bad stretch of a couple days there potentially for the 88. 83 not having a great look here either in the final race of the season here for the QSR Simulations League. Daniel Molnix has gotten around Joe Weaver up front, the number 6 currently leading the way here on lap 3, looking to try and check out from the 21 and the 20 of Ronnie Joyner. Joyner, though, going to look to the inside of Weaver here on the front stretch to take away that second position.
Joyner has been a thorn in Molnick's side ever since these two came over here. It's been the 6 car, the 20 car battling. The 19 will find his way up here soon enough, I'm sure. And Joe Weaver has had quite a few poles this season. Hasn't been able to get the job sealed and delivered. He's been really close. Led a lot of laps and a lot of tracks, but here he is fighting back up on the outside. Will we have a different winner here tonight? That's the main story that I think we can take away from Atlanta is who can ride the momentum train, because the 19, he outwits these guys in the 6 and the 20 last week with some strategy, but ultimately Weaver, I believe, started on the pole in that race as well.
Yeah, it's certainly been an interesting way to look at these past few races ever since Molnix and Joyner have been introduced to the league as well. The two of them combining for 3 wins here. You also got Burns, who's picked up 5. So between them, that's 8 of them. And I do believe Weaver's got at least one of them. So that could be all of your winners in the top 4 right now. Christian Ruckriegel, I'm sure, is licking his lips back there in 5th, looking to take away a few positions here. You know he'd like to end the season with a win and potentially bump up a couple more spots in the final point standings if he can help it. Trying to get under the 19 there. Looking a little farther back here, you've got Chris Nail in traffic. Action all over the place. Yeah. Yes, I was trying to follow where the camera's going. There's just action all over the track right now.
Yeah, I was watching, there was a battle back there with Chris Nail and Zach Rivali. Now the 19 is going by on the outside of the 6 car. All over the back bumper, the 21 as they exit turn 2. It looks like Chris Nail got a little loose coming out of turn 2. He collects it okay. But yeah, what a shame there for Quentin Stewart. He's 2 laps down now, being scored in the 16th position. He's back on pit road as we speak.
Yeah, an early end to the night, most likely for the 83, even if he gets back out on track. Not sure he'll be able to get all of those laps back at this point, so tough break here to the season finale for the 23, but sometimes it's just the way it goes. It's sideways around up front as the leaders.
I saw that happening. Good stop there for the 21 to not pin it into the inside wall, but I think someone stuck their nose in there and forced the issue coming out of 2. You can be the judge. It certainly
seems like it. Those watching at home will be able to take a second look. But so here they go into turn 1. We were around the 6. Burns to his outside battling for second. Two cars running up high as they make their way into the corner. Burns looking maybe to that inside groove and just, oh man, that's a tough break for Weaver especially. He was clear basically of both of those guys and just caught the corner. But yeah, Burns and Molnick's little meeting of the minds coming off of turn 2, which not always the thing you want to have happen in a race, especially this early on. You know, the 19 a little hot, a little off that wall as the 6 tried pushing up toward that outside wall and collects both of them and the 21 in the process.
Let's go on board one more time here. I want to ride on the front camera of this number 20 machine. I think the 19 maybe thought he was going to be able to take that 3 wide, and then the door closed.
Yeah, that's a tough break there. I also want to update one thing I mentioned earlier. I said I thought Weaver had a victory to this point this season. He does not. I was thinking of Kevin West.
Yeah.
So this could be a prime opportunity for the 21 to get his first win, although getting a bit of contact there off of turn 2 definitely not going to help the matters.
Well, you know what this does, though? This is allowing the 20 of Ronnie Joyner to take over the point, and some of the contenders that were up front are fixing damage. They're going to be starting in the back, and I'm sure some of that will carry over because they're going to be stuck side by side with each other for another restart.
Yeah, there could be a few cars out there who might be thinking about what just happened and figuring out how they want to race each other the rest of the night. You know, these guys have raced each other really clean all season, but, you know, final race of the season, you know, tensions might run a little bit higher knowing this is the last chance to pick up a victory.
Well, this is your last chance to get that guy back for all the things he did to you all year. Maybe that's what's going on.
Final chance for vengeance, if you will, although
yeah,
I'm sure cooler heads will prevail, or at least, in my opinion, I hope they will.
Well, this is a great chance here for Quentin Stewart to try to get some of these laps back, too, if these guys do go out. He's still currently trying to fix some of that damage. You can see the right front fender still pushed in a little bit on this Red Bull Toyota. Hopefully he can get most of that done, because for that to happen in the first 500 feet of this race, that's going to be super frustrating. Now 5 laps down rather. He's going to have a lot of ground to make up, but nonetheless, Ronnie Joyner takes over the lead. First caution of the day happens on lap 9. And that shakes up our top 5 with Christian Regal, Daryl Flanagan, Chris Nail, and Zach Rivalli now first through 5th. Your pole sitter back to 13th. Some of your lap leaders with Daniel Molnix. Jeremy Burns was on his way back 14th and 15th.
Yeah, this is going to be a really fun opportunity, I think, for those cars that you mentioned, 2nd through 5th. A lot of those guys very much in a points battle right now. Chris Nail, Christian Regal, Zach Rivalli, all those guys in a very, very tight points battle right now, trying to get every position they can get in these final standings. So prime opportunity, if you will, to go out there and make something happen now that you've got the track position to back it up.
Well, and I'm going to be completely honest here for a second, when have I not been here on Vspeed? I feel like the only reason Burns forced that issue is because he's kind of in a situation where he doesn't really have anything to lose. And so maybe getting a little racier than he normally does. He's usually more patient than that. So I'm hoping that, you know, that was the case and that we saw the end of the fireworks. Because that caused a lot of damage to that 19 car. It's pretty much. I think it's pretty much done. That thing certainly isn't looking quite right. That right front fender definitely looks banged in a little bit.
And I know they got some of that damage repaired on pit road, but there's only so much you can do to undo hitting a wall at high speed. So we'll have to see if that car can handle the way it was earlier, now having to work his way around the entire field as you see him pulling up to the tail end of the line here as they're just about to go racing for the second time here tonight.
So iRacing pace car going to pull out of the way. At 900 horsepower, going to try to connect to the old asphalt surface here in Hampton, Georgia. Green flag is out, and we're back underway at Atlanta.
Whoa, someone got a little sideways there going through the tri-oval. I believe that is the 91 of Hernandez. Didn't quite get up to speed. Now looks to be fine, but definitely was running a very inside line going into turn 1. Well, they all got it sorted out. But right now, he's going to have to try and battle the 88 of Austin Dowdy, who's made up some track position after that early contact with the 83 of Stewart. He's trying to rally back from that early incident, now currently scored in 10th position, maybe make it 9th here at the stripe.
He's still battling down on the inside. That outside line looking a little bit faster. You can hold it up there without getting loose. You can see the exit speed here for the 88 car. Hernandez doing a heck of a job holding it to the door, but he's ultimately going to lose that spot. Side by side back here with Rodrigo and Chris Nail. That was for a brief second. We just missed it, but the 20 of Ronnie Joyner is starting to check out a little bit. 5/10 of half a second.
Yeah, the 20 with all that fresh air in front of him and no one really bothering him, he's starting to be able to settle in, hit his marks, and really start to pull away from the rest of this field. Ruckriegel has not had that same luxury with the 48 of Chris Nail all over his back bumper right now. And that battle has let the 20 starting to get away a little bit here, as the 48 once again knocking on the door of Ruckriegel, trying to find his way on around.
He's getting a good run there off the exits of the corner, but unfortunately the 33 is also running the same line, so kind of hard here at the old Atlanta to get a good run. You have to almost get the run out of 2 and carry it into 3 on the outside if you want any chance.
Yeah, you really do, and we'll see on board here with the 48 what approach he's going to try and take to get around Ruckriegel here. Looks like he's going to try and keep it down below the 33, make that corner as short as possible. Although he did not get really the run he was hoping for, didn't really gain any time on the back bumper of the 33 there, so he's up 8 positions from where he started, although a lot of it he gained on pit road, but they don't necessarily ask you how you got into the top 3, it's just a matter of if you can stay there.
And he's staying there. He deserves to be there. We've seen him up in the top 3 the last couple of weeks. And, I mean, for the racing that we've seen and the quality of the drivers that we've had all season long, when you put yourself up there in that top 5, you're doing something right. The only thing that's missing from this picture right now is usually at this stage in the race, we have a 3 car up here in the top 5.
Yeah, notably absent tonight, the 3 of Carter Linz. But he's usually into that mix as well. As here goes Flanagan taking a peek to the inside of Ruckriegel. That 18 car trying to run that low side, moving up the track a little bit, maybe trying to take the 33 up there with him. Not able to clear him just yet, though. They'll be side by side at the line, and the 00 lurking just behind them as well, waiting to see how this unfolds.
Ruckriegel lost the spot, 2nd position now to Chris Nail, and 7/10 of a second with Joyner pulling away a little bit. Good run on the outside there for the 33. He's going to be clear going into 3 and 4. But he seems to keep that bottom lane open on the entrance of the corners. He's kind of baiting people to go down there because he knows he can defend on the outside.
Yeah, well, he might have to defend on the outside and the inside here going into 1. That 00 was looking high as Flanagan in the 18 was looking low. 33 of Ruckriegel able to clear them both for the moment, but that pressure is definitely not unbounded right now. They were looking both sides of that car. Tempting fate can only work so long, I feel like, before it's going to actually reach out and get you.
Check back in here. Jeremy Burns, he's back in this tandem of cars with what looks like the 83 of Quentin Stewart has actually gotten by him, so maybe the damage a little bit worse for Jeremy Burns. Daniel Malnick's about 5 seconds ahead of the 19. He's behind Joe Weaver, your pole sitter. So these guys probably have enough damage that they're not able to complete some passes. Weaver actually going peaks to the inside there for a moment. Now up on the back bumper of Dowdy. And it looks like the 92 washed up the racetrack there in 3 and 4. He's going to check up, and this might give a pick. It will. The 21 of Weaver now to the inside. The 92 man.
Carnahan's having a handful of that machine right now. It is all over the place. He just clipped the wall as well. More contact up into the wall up there.
That was a 91 and the looked like the 21 maybe.
Yeah, the 21 who had been making some progress is falling back now behind Carnahan. Tell you what, Joe Weaver seems to be in the wrong place at the wrong time about every lap he can be tonight.
Back look on the instant replay. He got loose on his own, so that wasn't caused by contact, but he got loose out of 2, overcorrects and goes up into the wall, and then here's some more contact, or almost contact, then the wall. So that was just kind of insult to injury.
Yeah, I wonder if the 21 owes anybody some money. They just keep running that car up into the fence here. Right now settling in 12th behind Carnahan, and now looking back up front. That gap for Ronnie Joyner opened up just a little bit. It's about 8/10. Last time we were looking at him, it was about half a second. So slowly pulling away here. The big difference now, Chris Nail in second has not only cleared Ruckriegel, he has checked out from the 33. So right now the 48 on an island there in second, trying to track down the leader.
And just like that, we're a quarter of the way through this thing, or past a quarter of the way, to be honest. And Ruckriegel and Chris Nail, I believe, were points battling, if I remember correctly.
They were both in the mix. They were 2 of 4th through 6th. So they certainly were in contention for some of those spots. The 00 of Rivoli also in the mix there as well. On point, so he's having a really solid run right now. Currently scored him 4th ahead of Flanagan. Taking a look on board here with the points. Yeah, he's trying to get as many points as he can to stay ahead of Andrew Allen, who I actually don't think is on track tonight. So he might be settling in to a 7th place finish here, whether he chooses to or not. As the car he's trying to track down there, and Flanagan currently scored 1 position behind him in 5th.
So it's just tight here. Oh wow,
Whoa.
That's not tight.
No, that's about as far opposite of that as you could be. That car was nearly sideways off of turn 4.
Look at the racing we got going on back here with Daniel Molnix getting by the 91. Now going to the outside of Dowdy in 1 and 2, washing up the track a little bit there for the 88, but leaves enough room on the outside. And the 6 car, of all the cars that got caught up in that lap 9 incident, he looks like he's got the best one. He didn't get too much damage, apparently.
Yeah, now going to fly by the 5 of Wisnowski potentially, looking to his inside on the front stretch. Going through the tri-oval here, he had a lot of momentum off of 4. Will just shoot past the 5 going into turn 1. Dowdy will try and follow him through on the inside here. Wisnowski just a second ago was up in 6th. Now he scored in 8th. And now here comes Hernandez as well, trying to get on to the action as well. The 5 car under assault from all sides right now.
On board with the 88 of Austin Dowdy. He's down 3 spots where he began the race, but got into that situation with Quentin Stewart, I believe it right there at the start. He's a little loose there going through the quad oval and allows the 91 back to the outside. But Patrick Hernandez gets a run. They're going to be side by side coming off of turn 2, and I think Austin's just trying to nurse this thing because based off that camera that I'm watching right now, he looks loose.
Yeah, he's going to have to be a little ginger with it. There's a good bit of wheel correction going on there as well, just trying to keep this car settled through the middle of the corner. Running that middle lane right now, trying to get a decent run off the corner exit. Although he's staring at the back bumper of both Wisnowski and Hernandez right now. So right now it's a matter of just trying to keep all 4 tires facing the right direction and nursing this thing around to the next pit stop. The 88 might be a little more banged up than was first let on. Way up the track there.
Yeah, they're really washing out in this car.
Oh.
60 on the wall. That was Mike Petrin.
Yeah, you were just saying about cars washing up the track, and then we see someone do it all the way up to the wall there in the 60. Still hanging on 10th place right now, but certainly not going to be advancing too many positions if you have to keep correcting it coming off the corner like that. 21 of Weaver might be able to try and track him down, although ever since that contact we saw with him earlier on, maybe about 5 laps ago or so, he has not had the pace that he had at the start of the race here. That 21 seems to be struggling right now.
Yeah, the only car of that group, again, Daniel Walnick's up to 6th spot now, and he's chasing down Daryl Flanagan. Car loose in front of him here for a moment. He's still fighting with it. Saw some tire smoke from the 00, and Zach Ravalli is wrestling this thing around. It's taking a ride 8 seconds at a time.
Yeah, every time that car comes off the corner, it seems like it's a battle just to keep it facing the same direction. He's doing a really good job right now. He got up into the top 5 off the pit stop and then has been able to stay there. But he's certainly fighting some really loose conditions on corner exit right now. And every lap that he has to catch it out of a fishtail is going to be an opportunity for Flanagan to try and track him down here. The gap between those two cars is about 2 car lengths as they run right now.
I keep butchering his name. It's Reveille, I believe is the correct way to pronounce that name, and I still this day messed that up.
Oh,
Yellow
the
flag
caution's
is
out.
Wisnowski.
It's the 5.
Heavy damage on the front end of that machine. I don't know if we'll have to look too far because I believe he was racing side by side with Joe Weaver.
I think he was battling with the 88, I believe, of Austin Dowdy is where this begins, going into turn 3.
Oh, it's
man.
off the ground there.
Tell you what, the 88 has been able to pop a couple of cars off the ground here today. One very much, neither intentionally, obviously, but just a bit of a misjudged space here as the 5 washed up the track and then was trying to come back down. And 2 cars just seem to have a really wrong place to be meeting in the corner there because these cars get so loose. These Gen 4 cars, when you hit them from behind, it takes all the air off them and it just pops them right up like you see there.
That's unfortunate there for Wisnowski. He was having a decent race here up in the top 10, was kind of fighting in and out of it, and now finds himself all the way back. So we come up on pit stops, these guys topping off, and hopefully this helps Quentin Stewart out. Frank Walsh, 9 laps down, so he's still got some problems, but this could help the 19 and the 21 get some of that damage repaired. Like to see Jeremy Burns stay on pit road here, try to get some of this fixed. Maybe he'll have an opportunity to come back up towards the front, and I mean, we'll see. Joe Weaver had some speed there. Again, wrong place, wrong time. I don't know if he owes anyone money, Alex, but
it just seemed like he was bouncing off of a lot of people, whether it was his fault or not, but it seemed like every time we looked at him, he was making contact with a wall or another car.
And if you're going to collect, now's the time.
Yeah, man. We're about 50 laps from said collection point at this point, about 50 laps to go in this one. Actually, 50 laps to a T. Ronnie Joyner did win the race off of pit road. It was close. Ruck Regal had a really good stop, but the 20 was just able to get a nose out in front of him, so he will hold serve up front. This is a combo that worked really well for Joyner on the last restart. That inside line that he got the command, got a really good jump and was able to check out from the field. So be interested to see if Ruck Regal there on the outside of row 1 or Chris Nail on the inside of row 2 will have anything for Joyner here on this next stint.
What is happening here? I have a live up. I'm trying to find the chat. That's what I'm looking for right now. Where's the chat? Dagger RCN. Sick as a dog, fellas. See you next season. If there's anybody you'd like to see up there on the camera, I'm sure we're going to get a good look at some of these guys here.
Oh, the 20 coming back down pit road.
maybe he knows something we don't with fuel.
Either he knows something we don't with fuel, or maybe he did something coming down pit road that he was not supposed to. Those are the only two reasons he'd be coming down now. The 6, though, is also coming down pit road. I really do wonder if if these guys are thinking the same thing here, because the Molnick's machine is also stopping down on pit road.
They're topping off.
Yeah, maybe they're topping off. Maybe they didn't fully fuel this thing up, and then realized that they needed a little bit more to get to the end here.
Yeah, I mean, we played that game last week, and we know that this race is a little more rough around the edges with how this car is handling. It looks like it's much more of a handful, and last week the race had a late caution that put us in a situation we grouped everybody back up. But ultimately, before that point, it came down to strategy. And the 19 car of Jeremy Burns had a massive lead after what he did. Here tonight, I don't think that's going to come to fruition, though.
At the rate we're going, I don't believe so, unless this runs green to the end. But it looks like a lot of these drivers are having a tough time here with Atlanta tonight. This is not an easy track by any means, especially in the Gen 4 with the amount of horsepower they've got. As that green flag's back in the air, and we are racing once again from Atlanta. Ruck Regal on the inside, Nail on the outside.
That handed over, and Ruck Regal was in command of this restart, but he didn't get a very good run into 1 and 2, and he's opened up the door for Chris Nail, who's trying to run away with the points on the guy behind him, who he just passed. He's got a huge gap to make up here, but if he can get the lead and get some laps led, that helps his cause.
And he will lead this lap, first laps led of the night there for the 48 machine, who now that he's cleared of the 33, already starting to look ahead toward that the clean air up front. 2/10 right now, the gap, about 2 car lengths between the two. Is looking a little farther on back, our previous leader there, Ronnie Joyner, marred in a pile of traffic here, battling with the 88 of Austin Dowdy. This is the battle for that.
Gets by on the inside. There's the 5 car behind them of Wisnowski. And he almost gets some contact from the 6 of Molnick's as they come across the line for lap 40. Molnick's wants to try to keep pace with that 20 car. Oh, a little loose action there coming out of 2.
Yeah, and that's going to force that entire outside line to check up a little bit, because if the 88 did lose it, speaking of which, a little bit of wall contact there for Dowdy. Molnick's now trying to push it to the inside, but the 88 will close that off. Molnick's right now having a whale of a time trying to get around Dowdy here. Dowdy making that car 2 lanes wide. But now Molnick's to the inside of the Havoline machine, and he'll be able to run that inside line. A little bit of motor oil
Back and forth.
hostilities. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, contact. Speaking of hostilities, the 6 nearly into the inside wall. He's going to catch it, but boy, that was heavy contact there between the 88 and the 6. Burns will try and get around the outside there of Molnick's.
No.
Maybe not able to do it, though.
Who are you going to buy stock in now? And Haviland does that to Valvoline.
Yeah, man, that was motor oil hostilities.
Oh,
Someone's
it's
in the
already
wall
gone.
up there in front.
Yeah.
That was the 92 with Carnahan. But we've seen he's been having handling troubles all night here.
I don't know if it was Carnahan or Dowdy.
Well, if it's Dowdy, I can't say I'd be super surprised. He's been having a tough time with the handling on that machine as well. Well, maybe it was Dowdy. Oh, here comes Quentin Stewart. Oh, man.
Oh, a little payback,
I think the
maybe?
88 maybe caught the wall before the 83 got there, but the 83 certainly didn't help matters there. Almost the same place as their lap 1 incident as well.
Well, let's just go on board.
We'll take a look here with the 83. That is Quentin Stewart. Currently scored in the 14th position, 7 laps down, but he is the highest running car not on the lead lap right now. So should there be a caution, he would get the free pass, but you know, still a lot of ground to be made up. He's probably going to hope for a couple other cars to maybe bow out of this race for him to gain a few positions. right now, just taxiing around, hoping to make something happen.
You see him pull himself towards the wheel there. I'm sure there's some fatigue starting to set in because watching all of these drivers on the cameras, I got them all up at one time here on my feed, and every single one of them, with the exception of Burns, who's got a lot of damage, they're working this wheel. They are driving. I mean, you can't ask for much more than what they're putting out there because this thing's a handful.
Yeah, Atlanta was always known as a driver's track, and that's why a lot of people liked it, at least in its old configuration. You know, it was really a test of your driving skill and how you could get the car to handle around this place because it was far from easy. And we're seeing right now that a lot of drivers, you know, they have to rise to that occasion because it has become quite the challenge out there, especially when the tires start to go away. But I'm looking at the timing table here, and take a look who's back up in the second place. It's been a bit of a time here since we've seen the 21 up toward the front, but Joe, we were rallying back from some of that earlier contact, and our pole sitter now one position away from where he started.
One position, but one full second. He's got his work cut out for him to catch up to Chris Nail. Remember, Weaver still has some slight hint of damage somewhere on this car. They never 100% can repair these things once they get some damage. But he's looking pretty fast. He shaves off 2/10 down that backstretch. He's charging.
That he is, and he's leaving this great battle behind him in the dust. Ruckriegel with a mirror full of Reveille and Joyner right now as they come across the line, making their way onto lap 48. It is nose to tail for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Christian Ruckriegel goes down low. Reveille looking maybe to his outside as they're trying to make their way onto the back bumper of Patrick Hernandez as well. Boy, man, they are really pushing it coming out of turn 2 with this battle as hot as it is right now. And if someone oversteps just a little bit, they're going to find themselves on the outside wall.
33 washes up there, loses the nose on the exit of 4. Luckily, he was able to catch it as the next safety net was the door of that 91 car.
Right now, Ruckriegel looks like he may be clear of Hernandez. Oh, yep, there it is. Makes that pass complete. It looked like he may not be able to do it for just a second there, but he'll get that pass to go. Meanwhile, Joyner now to the inside of Reveille. This is the battle for the final position in the top 5. The 20 down low, the 00 up high, and he clipped that wall. And no, that's about as long as that battle's going to go on. Joyner will fly right on past him and take sole possession of 5th, and now set his sights on the back bumper of the 91.
The lead trimming away a little bit more each lap. Last time by, pretty identical lap times. The time before that was about 0.2 of a second. This time, I think we're going to see about the same. You see that number on the left-hand side of your screen ticks down to the 7/10 range. Last time by, a 32.410 for the leader. Joe Weaver at 32.394. So about 500ths. No, less than that. 300ths of a second. They're
the
back
21,
and forth a lot.
Yeah, where the 21 seems to get his biggest gains is coming off of turn 2 and going down the backstretch. But then in the actual corner itself, it looks like the 48 has a really good line in 3 and 4 that's able to reopen up that gap a little bit. And that's how we're seeing this accordion effect here in the distance. But I think the power that the 21 can put down off of turn 2 is just ever so slightly a bigger advantage than the cornering power that the 48 has right now in 3 and 4. And that's how we're seeing that lead slowly get a little bit thinner each lap. But looking just behind them, Ronnie Joyner, Patrick Hernandez, the battle's
Hernandez
on and
really
the battle's
loose.
off. The 91 nearly lost it off the corner. He might lose out to the 00 as well.
A lot of turbulence there. So we were right on board with him. Thought maybe we'd see it again. But look at that. He's clutching this thing as well.
A
Watch
lot
him come
going
off
on
a 4.
right now behind the wheel here for Hernandez.
Well, in the situation we were talking about earlier, keep in mind the 20 car and the 6 car came back down pit road. So they obviously had factored in that they weren't going to make it to the end of this race, or auto fuel got them, whatever the case may be. They came back in, which means they're in the long haul could end up front because the rest of these cars have to pit. And the 91 car, that probably explains why he's on the clutch and maybe why he's lost some of these positions, because he's trying to get to the green on that relative on how many laps he has left.
Yeah, it's certainly a possibility as we jump back a little farther here to the 92 of Carnahan. He's currently sitting in the 8th position, up 9 spots from where he started. He was the last car in the field, so right now a good charge to the front. But another one of those cars that just looks like he's dealing with a lot right now with the handling of this machine. Does not seem to be treating him too kindly. We also got the 6 of Molnix here on his back. Yeah, I'm about to say, here comes Molnix as well. He got a really good run off the corner, and he'll fly right around that outside. Going to try and roll that top line onto the backstretch. I think he'll be able to do it, and Molnix will move up into 7th.
Well, while we were watching
Our
that,
leader came down pit road.
yeah, 48 car, he must have been convinced that he wasn't making it to the end of this race. He's out in clean air, so he's got more wind resistance, and that's probably why he had to come down a little bit sooner than the rest of this field. So now I look to see what's the strategy. Joyner and Molnix coming back down pit road. Did they take a page out of Jeremy Burns' book from last week?
Trying to play the strategy game. It might just fall into their laps, especially Ronnie Joyner, who's currently up the 2nd here. He's worked his way through the field after having to come down pit road a 2nd time. Right now, the gap only a couple car lengths between him and Joe Weaver. We were back up front here after the opening couple laps. It's been a long trek back to the front of the field, although he might not be there for very long, as here comes the 20 right now up toward his back bumper. Gap 2/10 here as they go into turn 3, and the 20, with reasonable assumption, will have more fuel to keep the power down for longer here as this run goes on.
On board with Joyner now, and he's all but caught the 21 car as they go into 1 and 2. He's going to take that bottom line again, peek the nose now into the inside quarter. Has to be careful down there on that bottom. You can see how loose it's been getting for a lot of these guys. Doesn't want to scrub the nose up into the door. Peeks down to the bottom again. His entry is a little bit lower, and that's him trying to keep downforce on the car so he doesn't have to lift as much.
He got a really good exit off of turn 4 there. Didn't lose any time off the corner. We'll close right back up to the 21 here. We were up high. Joyner's down low. They might be side by side off the corner, but now the 21, good exit off of 2, and he will reopen up that gap. The 20 coming off of turn 2 from down low just couldn't put the power down that he wanted. So he'll really lunge it into turn 3 here, but that gap still several tenths right now. We were able to control things from that high side in the corners.
We're going to ask out there, anybody has any plans for Valentine's Day, any pointers, any good ideas? I'm open. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm just a artifact of procrastination. I have all the side effects of anxiety, and I know that what I'm doing is going to be bad, but I haven't planned anything. What about you, Alex?
I've got loose plans. I'll be making some dinner probably that Wednesday. You know, we went out, we bought some lobster tail. It'll be a nice little night in to avoid, you know, the chaos going outside. It is Joyner now looking to the inside, maybe trying to spoil the holiday plans here of the 21 if he can take this lead away. Not sure how either of these guys will be celebrating the holiday, but you know, it'll certainly be a little bit better with a win here in the final race at the QSR Simulations League.
And it looks like maybe another pit stop here For an early exit, the 88 of Austin Dowdy has brought it down pit road, and he is repairing some damage. The 88 car going to go 9 laps down now. Battle for the lead still on. 20 car trying to clear the 21. Joyner, we were back and forth. They're 2.5 seconds ahead. Christian Rodrigo, and you saw on the back of that frame there, that's actually the 48 of Chris Nail. He's trying to race back up here to get his lap back as the 20 of Joyner takes over the lead.
Yeah, and I wonder if this is the time now for the 21, if he needs to come down pit road in any capacity, would this be the time now that he's lost the lead? Because he's about to see the 48 go by on fresh tires, and I think that's going to make both the 20 and the 21 a little bit jealous when he sees the speed difference here. Look at that. I mean, even with a far from optimal exit here, the 48 just blows on past Weaver and is now going to close into the back bumper of Joyner and can just roll right around the outside like it's nothing for the fresh tires on the 48 right now. So back on the lead lap, but still has a full circuit around this track to make up in the next 22 laps.
Well, there's your answer. Weaver
21's going to bring it down pit road, yeah. This is, this is exactly what we were just saying. Lose the lead, come down pit road. And that seems to be the strategy here for 21.
Now the situation is, does the 20 and the 6 have enough to make it on fuel? We know that, nope, they don't.
Oh, here comes the 20 of Joyner. Well, everyone's making one last stop. I think maybe the 20 and the 6 were a little over-optimistic, hoping that they can make it to the end on one tank, but either it's a fuel thing or, oh, Carnahan barely makes it inside the commitment cone back there. That was really close for the 92. Lost my train of thought there watching that. Look how close he cuts this thing as they make their way on by. You know, an assortment of cars on fresh tires, new tire, or old and new tires, and also cars trying to make their way down pit road here. So on board with the 92 as he tries getting this thing slowed down, and look how close this was.
It doesn't get any closer than that. You go another 2 feet and you're in the grass there.
Absolutely, or at least wiping out the cone on the entrance to pit road. So looks like the 88's finally going to bring it off of pit road. He's now 12 laps down, scored in the 15th position. But he is still going to be out there trying to fight for a few positions. He's only 1 lap behind the 54 Walsh. So right now, Rodrigo is our leader, battling a little bit with the 83, who's currently 8 laps down. So not really a battle for position, just another car on track there that's in the mind with the 33. But a lot of his competitors have come down pit road. You got to wonder if Rodrigo's going to try and stretch this thing to the end, or if he knows he needs to come down pit road as well. Oh, what a mess all of a sudden. Here comes everybody. The 21, the double zero, man, splitting the difference 3 wide through the corner. Stewart's up into the wall trying to get away from this. And now Reveille and Weaver will fly on by, getting back on the lead lap. So will Flanagan and Joyner. Man, it looked like it was just the 33 and the 83 for a second, and we cut back, and all of a sudden, half the field materialized right around them.
This is for position, what would probably end up being the lead. And man, once I mean, Chris Nail came down pit road, so they've got to catch up to him, but the 21 car prevails. I believe I'm remembering that correctly. Chris Nail was the first one to come down pit road.
He was indeed the first car to come down pit road. He came down from the lead. So I'm pretty sure he's good on fuel, but those tires definitely older than everybody else's right now. Gonna have to see if he can manage a 6-second gap on those older tires with coming to 15 laps to go here.
Very doable. I think Chris Nail could be in victory lane after tonight. If it stays green, he's got a good chance. Optimistic here. We're going to remain optimistic and not talk about that yellow word. And,
whoa, 48 looked a little loose just as we cut away from him. He was able to catch it, but, you know, you nearly accidentally spoke it into existence a moment later there.
Some superpowers you just don't like to have.
Yeah, the commentator's curse has proved itself to be all too real so many times that You know, it's just something that you don't want to try and mess with if you can help it. But 33 out front right now, 1 second ahead of the 91 of Patrick Hernandez, who's closing in here. And then you've got Molnix, who has not come down pit road yet, nor has Burns. So 4 cars who have not come down pit road yet. The question is, will they be able to save enough to make it to the end, or will they all come down pit road and Chris Nail will inherit the lead?
Well, I'm listening in here on the 91 car, and he is clutching still. Still very committed to this run. He's got about a 3.5, 4 second gap here over Daniel Molnix. He's chasing down Christian Ruck-Regal, not by much, though. Pretty identical lap times last time by. I heard the 33 car clutching as well. So into 3 and 4 here, we're going to confirm it, but I think the 33 is on save, as well as the 6, the 19 probably playing this strategy with how his track position has been here tonight. Yeah, confirm 33 car. Go back here and see what the 6 car is doing. He's also on the clutch. So all 3 of the top 3 are doing it. Wonder what Jeremy Burns is doing.
I'm looking at this timing table right now as we're listening in on Burns' car. Joyner and we were battling right now for 6th place just behind him. Joyner, I think, just got around him, and they're within a second of Chris Nail. So they might get around the 48 as well. So if on the off chance there is some sort of caution and the field has to close back up, it would put the 20 and the 21 in prime position here. You can see them just off the back bumper here of the 48. Here they come off the corner, side by side there, Joyner and Weaver. Neither one going to be able to clear here, but now Weaver's got traffic in front of him with Nail. They're going to both dive to the inside, but Joyner will take the position away from both of them. Just about 10 laps to go here. It'll be 10 laps next time by. 4 cars up front on full fuel save. The cars from 5th on back on full attack, trying to chase him down.
So can he save enough? Does Christian Ruck-Regal have enough in the tank here at Atlanta to get his first victory of the season in the last race of the regular season? And tell you what, it's been a surprising day. Oh boy, I thought we just had another surprise, and 33 blinks out there for a moment.
That would be the worst time for it there. You've got a big lead there. He's really opened up the gap over Hernandez. Hernandez got within 8/10, now 2.6 seconds back. So either something happened with the 91 or he realized he was going to have to save a lot more fuel than he was. So that gap has really opened up. No one right now in the same zip code as Christian Ruck-Regal as they make their way to the line for 7 or 8 laps to go. But right now, that 33, his biggest enemy is what's left in the fuel tank here.
So mathematically, he's on the same stint as Hernandez, and if the 91 feels like he can't make it, this might be maybe an auto fuel issue, I don't know. But if the 91 car can't make it, I highly doubt Ruck-Regal's going to make it as well.
Well, Joyner has now closed into within 11 seconds. The only way he will catch the leader, I'd imagine, at this point is if they actually run out of fuel or have to come down pit road. The gap just, I think, a little too big for what's left in this race here. But Joyner has certainly put himself in position where if those cars need to come down pit road, he'd be able to be in position to capitalize on it.
Without a doubt. And Daniel Molnix in the 6 car, who came down pit road a second time and topped off, of the top 3, probably has the best possibility of making it.
Yeah, he had that one extra lap he put in the car, which might be all the difference here. He's closing in on the back bumper of Hernandez with now 5 laps to go. Sorry, 6 laps to go here at Atlanta. Molnix might be able to take 2nd place away here from Hernandez, but they're both 3.5 seconds back of the 33.
What's interesting is Joyner is a second faster than the 6 car of Molnick's. But he's a solid 4, almost 5 seconds back from this battle as the 6 car goes by for second place. He knows if he's going to have anything to do, it's chase down that 33. That's your only shot at getting this victory here tonight.
33 definitely just trying to make it to the end of this race here. Now he's also going to have some cars who might come up onto the back of him here. All those cars, though, not on the lead lap. Here comes Mike Petra and Ethan Wisnowski. Bill Carnahan, almost contact between the 5 and the 92 there. That would have really thrown a wrench in things, but we stay green for now. 4 laps to go.
Christian Regal on board with him one more time. We got to listen to see if he's still clutching or if he's on the loud pedal trying to keep this lead at 4 seconds. Last time by, a little bit faster than Daniel Molnick's. He's not on the clutch quite as long as he was before, so he's probably right there on the edge, just trying to maintain, so if the 6 does catch up to him, there he goes, letting the 92 of Carnahan by.
Yeah, he's got the gap he needs at this point. It's just a matter of if he has enough fuel. I don't think even if the 6 runs full speed here, he'll have a chance to catch him. Joyner might catch these 2 cars, though. It's only 2 seconds now, maybe make it a second, between Joyner, Hernandez, and Molnick's right now. So the 20 might still be able to rally up past these 2 cars in the second, but right now, I don't think anyone's going to have a battle for our leader unless the 33 has some fuel issues here with 2 laps to go.
Down the back stretch, the white flag just on the other side of this racetrack. Ruck Regal pulling out some strategy. And in another surprise event here tonight, he's going to take the white flag and has to get around Atlanta one last time. Will we see another new victor? The last race of the season, the 33 of Christian Ruck Regal comes out of turn 2. Almost coasting it down the back stretch. And the Monaco 33 comes out of turn 4 for the last time tonight. Checkered flag in the air, and your winner here today by over 4 seconds, it's Christian Ruck Regal.
First victory of the season for the 33. Played the strategy perfectly here tonight, and he led the final 23 laps of this race and was able to bring it home for his first victory of the season in the final race of the season.
And officially, we'll announce your champion of QSR simulations. But before we do that, let's take it down to the front stretch for our first time winner this season. Christian Ruck Regal gonna burn it down for us. That might be all he has to do.
That might be all the fuel that's left in the car.
That's it.
Well, at least he did it with a nice power slide. He had a strong start, but that's about all that was left in the car.
Here, we'll
Second
make
look
this
at
last,
the burnout.
We'll make this last so much longer here. You ready?
A little slow-mo burnout action here for Ruck Regal as he slides it across the front stretch, giving it the last ounce of fuel that was left in that machine.
Post-race interviews with your top 3. We'll announce your champion when we come back here live on Vspeed. You're watching the QSR Simulations final race of the season here at Atlanta. Back right after this.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
And here comes Milo. Big run out of 4. He's going to be there.
Tristan Martin's there. Cannot count out to 37.
Oh!
The wheel gets burned!
Cabot, where did he come from? Here comes Zwack.
A push from the 33.
It's a drag race.
The Magic Man wins it Auto Club.
Back here live from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. QSR Simulations has concluded its 85-lap race for 127 miles, and it's concluded its official season as we crown your champion. Let's get those final results up on your screen. Victorious here tonight, it was the number 33 with a surprise win. He played the fuel strategy, and he played it well. Able to come home on the top spot. He comes out over top of Ronnie Joyner in the number 20, Daniel Molnick, some of the favors to win this race tonight, having a tough time and struggled with the fuel strategy yet again. Joe Weaver, the pole sitter, falls back to 4th. Good recovery, though, after that caution that he got caught up in on lap 9. Patrick Hernandez is going to get a top 5 tonight. Zach Reveley in 6th spot with Chris Nail in 7th. Daryl Flanagan in 8th. 9th, Jeremy Burns and Mike Petrick rounding out the top 10.
And the remaining cars in the field tonight, Ethan Wisnowski had a tough night tonight, but was able to bring it home 11th. 12th is the 92 of Bill Carnahan. In the early first lap incident there, Quentin Stewart, who had some time to try and rally back, but struggled with the damage that car had, so he'll bring it home 13th tonight. 14th tonight is the 88 of Austin Dowdy. Walsh will bring it home in 15th there, and then 16th will be Christian Puglisi, with Dirk Likes, I don't believe, taking the grid here, finishing 17th. And that is our final grid here from Atlanta. And now I think it's either time to talk to our podium finishers or to crown a new champion. Whatever order you'd like to proceed in.
Well, I think officially we should talk to this top 3 here tonight, the situation at hand. First off, 3rd place finisher here today. Let's pull him up into the broadcast booth. It's Daniel Molnix in the number 6 car, and I got Alex down there with him right now.
Hey, Daniel, congrats on the podium finish there. Obviously, you had quite the day, back to the front after getting caught up in the early incident there with the 19. Talk us through what it was like having to try and rally back from the back of the field to the front again.
It was a handful trying to, keep clean air and pass those guys, but also keep some tires on the car. I'm pretty sure I passed more cars than anybody else this whole race, but it was a lot of fun. I wanted to, on that last restart, I was committed to staying out the whole time, but then I believe it was the 88 kind of door checked me and stuff like that, but I lost quite a few positions there, and I had to get those back. But had that not happened, I was up near the front. I think I would have been able to snag me a win here.
Yeah, I was about to say, you were one of the cars who did not come down pit road in those closing stages. And it seemed to work out for you, obviously bringing it home on the podium.
Mhm.
Was there any concern with the fuel strategy there? I saw you came down pit road a second time on that final caution, trying to top off, I guess, a little bit more fuel. Was that the extra amount that you needed to get to the end? Was it really dicey, or did you have some breathing room?
Even though we came down pit road, I think me and Ronnie were the only two that topped off. I was still short, so I know he was still short by, I think, 2 laps. But I mean, you fall off so much here that you can save save fuel that way. Plus, clutching it. I think I was still maybe a lap to the good by the end of it, but I had used my stuff up right there near the end to try and hold Ronnie off, but he had tires and fuel, so he was able to get around me.
Definitely a tough duo to beat when you only have one or the other. But you do bring it home on the podium here. It's a strong finish to a season that you joined in the middle of. If you were able to be a part of it for the full season, do you envision yourself up there fighting for the championship? It seemed like you had the speed to do so.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Jeremy, he's quick too, and a handful of other guys in here are really good also. But these cars are a lot of it is tire management, and I think some of these guys still have to learn a little bit more about that to, because anybody can be fast for a lap or two or even 5 laps, but 10 and 15 laps into a run, they might have fallen off a half second, whereas others, me and Ronnie and a few others haven't. So I think if these guys can kind of better manage their tires, make for even better racing.
Well, that is, I honestly would agree with that. That seemed like there was quite the difference between the certain cars in the front and the back of the field with how their tire management went, especially tonight here at Atlanta, a track that was not particularly forgiving for tires. But while we still have you in the booth here for a second, is there anyone you'd like to thank or shout out here before we let you go on your way this evening?
I want to thank you guys for putting this on. Y'all put on a great broadcast every week. And again, every guy that runs these races, they race with respect and courtesy. They race clean, but they also race hard, and you can't ask for anything better than that.
Well, congratulations on the podium finish there, Daniel. Solid run tonight and really throughout the season. And we hope to see you back here in the booth again real soon, whenever that may be here in QSR Simulations.
Sounds good to me, guys.
And that was our third place finisher this evening, the 6 of Daniel Molnix, who had some really good speed, but, he mentioned it, a little bit of contact there on that final stint set him back a little bit, and that may have been the difference tonight between finishing third and finishing first.
Well, it definitely made a difference because Ronnie Joyner had to come down pit road anyways and still got by him. So it definitely changed the way his run came out. And, Daniel not too far behind Ruck Regal, but ultimately, that whatever that contact or whatever the case may have been, that scenario definitely costed him some time. Probably used his stuff up because he had to kind of start over to catch up to the field again. Unfortunate, but Daniel, next season, I'm looking forward to what he can pull off, and hopefully we can get him back full time. And Ronnie Joyner both, as we travel down pit road. I'm catching up with your second place finisher here in the number 20. And Ronnie, you come back down pit road, you had enough speed, you just ran out of time. It looked like about a second a lap there that you were shaving off of Ruck Regal. You just needed about, 5 more laps, and you probably would have caught him.
Yeah, we didn't feel like saving fuel tonight. We wanted to let the car keep on doing its thing. Felt really good, and I honestly just wanted a fresh set of tires and go rip it around there one more time.
Yeah, I mean, you passed 100 of them tonight. I think you went from back in the back there where you topped off a second time, and that's that last caution. You come back down pit road, do it all over again. You get your lap back the old-fashioned way. So many things went on there to make sure that number 20 car finished in the podium tonight.
Yeah, it did. Honestly, we were just driving and enjoying driving the car. It was pretty fast tonight. I like Atlanta. It's a tire management game and throttle game, so that's right up my alley.
Oh, excellent driving there. This is definitely a driver's track, and to watch you guys side by side, I don't know what it was like from your point of view, but up here in the booth, it was very exciting to watch. How was it for you tonight?
It was good. A lot of clean racing. There were some people that let me go there, and I appreciate that. Takes the air off the right side of the car, or right rear of the car there when somebody's sitting outside, so you can't really touch that gas. You got to have an egg underneath the pedal when you're running that bottom like that. But it was a lot of fun, and I appreciate all the clean racing.
Well, Ronnie, while we have you up here one last time for the last race of the season, do you have anybody you'd like to shout out for the second place finish tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Quentin for putting on this league. It's been very fun, and looking forward to next season. And of course, all the guys at Venom Motorsports for all they do, and Peep and Paints for the beautiful car.
Well, we appreciate your time, Ronnie, and we look forward to maybe seeing you full time next season and seeing what you can do with these points.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
It's your second place finisher of the night, Ronnie Joyner, in the number 20. And yeah, like I said, excited to see what Molnix and Joyner can do. I think they give the old 19 a run for their money there. But we'll have
If
to wait and
it's
see.
a full season, I couldn't agree more, and I'm already really excited to think about the idea of those three cars battling out over the course of a full season. Just the half season that we got was stellar stuff.
And ultimately, that takes us down to victory lane. And the surprise finish here, we've got Alex Gagnon down in victory lane with the number 33 of Christian Ruckriegel and his surprise win, but it was no surprise to him because he had the strategy figured out down in victory lane.
Christian, congrats on the victory. First one of the season in the last race of the season. Talk us through the decision to stay out and try and stretch the fuel there. Didn't seem like it was the popular opinion, but you proved it to be the correct one.
Well, first of all, thank you guys so much for your kind words, and thank you, Quentin Stewart, for this wonderful league that we are in. But other than that, yeah. So this race was a doozy. I kind of surprised myself in qualifying and got up to the front, and I knew going in here all I had to do was beat Chris Nail because we were basically the two in contention for second place overall in our league here, and from the first run, I saw that he was pretty quick because he started 11th and he made his way up to 4th on the first restart. And then he got past me and I saw that he had good pace. And so I thought, man, there's no way I'm catching this guy. And so then on that second restart, once he started pulling away and I saw I was two laps short on fuel, I thought, let's just conserve as much as we can here and let's try to just play the long game and see what happens. And it had actually almost worked for us last week too, so I knew that it was a good strategy until big caution last week came out. But anyways, so we played that, and then me and Patrick, we kind of played the team game and paced each other for a few laps there, making sure that we weren't going too crazy on fuel, and somehow we pulled it off.
Hey, it worked out for you. And there's one thing you mentioned with last week's race ending in a late caution. Was there any concerns tonight as the laps were winding down that you'd find yourself in a similar position to what we saw last week at Chicagoland?
Oh, no doubt.
Wrong track, but right.
Hey, both of them were fuel saving races. Don't get yourself wrong there.
Yeah, that is true. Very good point.
Yeah, but yeah, it was always a concern of mine, and I was just fingers crossed, hoping it didn't happen. There was one point there with about 5 or 10 to go, and I had four or five lapped cars coming up behind, or lap down cars coming up behind me on fresh tires, and we were 3 wide. I was in a pack of other dudes, and it was got a little dicey there for a second. I think Quentin hit the wall, and we all pulled out of it good, and I saw some people getting loose, but I just said, hey, I can control my race. I can't control theirs. Let's do what we do and bring her home.
And you do get to bring it home to end the season with a victory. One of the few drivers who have won a race here in QSR simulations this season. What does that tell you going into the next season of QSR simulations, whenever that may be? Knowing that you can go out there, race with the best that this league has to offer and take it to them.
Well, all it tells me is that we got a lot of fast guys in this league. I know for the first half of the season, I was struggling to get in the top 10, and I was always like in that 11th, 12th kind of floating there. And then something happened in the second half of the season or towards the end of the playoffs there when I just kind of found another gear, I guess, and it worked, and I was able to hang with some of those fast guys. But I know I'm still not as fast as some of these big players, some of these big names. No one's as fast as the Jeremy Burns, but we all try to be, and we try to keep up.
Well, it was your night tonight, no doubt about it. Anyone you'd like to thank or shout out here before we let you go celebrate your victory tonight?
Honestly, I just have to thank Quentin Stewart for this wonderful league, QSR Simulations, best league I've been in on this this iRacing service. And I'd also like to thank all of my teammates at Pill Pushers Racing, of course, a champion, Jeremy O. Burns, the hot dog himself. We got number 88, the Austin Dowdy. He can be a little bit of a menace, but he's a great guy. He's always fun to be around. And then we got the Patrick Hernandez. He likes to bring a little flair to the table, and he is pretty dang fast when he has a good night.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on the win there, Christian. Put on quite the show tonight. Go celebrate, and we hope to see you again in the booth whenever the next season of QSR Simulations kick off.
Well, thank you. I sure hope I make it back here. Have a good night, guys.
You as well. And that was our winner this evening, the 33 of Christian Ruckriegel. Led the final 23 laps, and you can tell that he's pretty pumped up about the victory there.
And I like that presentation. It was the Patrick Hernandez. I like the way that was put out there. You know,
puts him up there in the echelon of Ohio State to a lot of folks.
Yeah, the that can go a long way. But yeah, well spoken and first time actually this season that I've actually spoke to Christian. So that was a new thing there for me to hear that. But what wasn't new for me to hear was the team Pill Pushers. And speaking of that, we have to crown a champion here tonight. And officially we can tell you that the number 19, no surprise, I'm sure nobody predicted this, even after tonight with a rough start and not a finish that he probably had hoped for, we can officially announce that Jeremy Burns is the champion here today in the final race. It was pretty locked up beforehand, but the number 19 of Jeremy Burns is officially your champion here at QSR Simulations with his 5 wins, an excellent battle there all through the season. But when it came crunch time there at the end, you got those bonus points, you performed well in the chase, and you got a victory here tonight. Big lead, and you just sealed the deal, buddy.
Yeah, it wasn't the way that I wanted to end the season. I just kind of got caught up there. Car was really competitive, but it just attested to all the stuff that we did during the regular season. With bonus points and the gap that we had coming in here. We had a very good chase, and we maximized the points days. Where coming in here to Atlanta, there really was no pressure, right? As long as I started the race and just logged one lap, it was wrapped. So it doesn't go unshown to what we put in during the season. Like I said, we wouldn't have been in that position hadn't we worked so hard during the season. So it's really good to see how it paid off there with the consistency and all that. But just huge shout out to the team as well. Christian got his first win of the night. He was very hyped about that. So happy for him and happy for everyone at the team. We made such great strides this season, and it was just awesome being teammates with them, and can't wait for next season.
Well, and we got the big announcements there with Christian Ruckriegel. And you can tell me if this is the correct term or the correct title for Patrick. It's the Patrick Hernandez. Is that what we're supposed to call him now on the broadcast?
I think so. I mean, he is the guy. He is the amazing guy. And he's been so awesome all season. We love Patrick over there, and we love Dowdy as well. Good old Austin Dowdy. And like I said, that just goes to show you, all 4 of us just have such good chemistry together and have been working so hard all season. So it's great to see that, everyone's getting their own little nicknames. I'm Mountain Man, and all these other guys got little nicknames and stuff. So it's cool to see.
Some that we probably can't say on air. So no,
yeah.
I would say that as far as the talent and the chemistry, I saw it as soon as I came into this league. It took me about 18 seconds to figure out that you guys were good people and that I enjoyed hanging out with you. Kind of difficult as a broadcaster to not have a bias when you're hanging out every night with the league admins and some of the guys that are winning every week, but always appreciated your company. And I know Alex is yet to hang out post race with us, but we'll try to get him in there one day. but overall, great season, Jeremy. I know that the list keeps getting longer and longer. I told you who to thank first, but you know what? You just take it away, man, for this championship. It's yours.
Well, obviously, got to shout you guys out. It's been an honor all season, to see and go back and watch these replays and see the job that y'all have done. But I got to start with, the two that made it possible, my mom and dad. I got to shout out my girlfriend. It's actually her birthday tomorrow, so this is the third straight week where I'm shouting somebody out for their birthday, and this one's pretty special. So I got to shout out her. She's amazing. Dylan, Coach P, Sonny, my grandma, Miss Betsy, continuous supporters. It's awesome to see them. Julie, Derek, Caroline, Shannon, Belinda, Jessica, Alex, Carter, and Colton, and their continuous support. Got Chapman Environmental here. It's a sponsor in my other league. Got to shout them out. I'm gonna cover this up while I shout out Dodge and Mopar, giving me a continuous sponsor all season, and I'll try to add a one here for the shirt, But anybody else who's able to make this possible, and the rest of the supporters throughout the league, shout out to the admins as well, and Quinn, Tyler, Carter, Chris, Dowdy, Ronnie, who just joined us on the admin team. Shout out to all of them. They did an incredible job all season, and shout out to the team as well, because like I said, all throughout the season they've worked their tails off, and Christian getting the win tonight, it shows that he's put in a lot of work all season, and Dowdy, Patrick, and myself have just elevated our game so much over the season. So shout out to all of them. If I haven't shouted you out, shout out to you, and we'll get on to next season.
I'm excited for it. I hope you're prepared for the Molniks and the Joyner of the world here, because things have changed a little bit since your mid-season, and I look forward to seeing what comes of that. I know you can pull some strategy or outright speed. It's going to be good to watch, and I'm excited for that, and I hope you're excited as well, and I hope everybody at home is excited. Do we know where Quentin Stewart is currently?
I don't know. I think Casper is taking over for his seat. I can see in the camera
it's
here.
A chair stream. It's a chair stream, actually. We'll show that right here. Actually, it's officially a chair stream here with Quentin Stewart. Important business things probably happening right now. So, but we'll try to get a word in as we wrap things up. But again, Jeremy, thank you for your time, man. Congratulations on the championship, and we look forward to next season, buddy.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
And that was your champion of the season. Race number 11 is concluded, and Jeremy Burns is victorious overall with a points battle that was tight going into the chase, but ultimately Jeremy just turned it on to another gear, almost like a next gen, had that fifth gear and never looked back.
Yeah, I mean, just start to finish this season, the 4 wins in the regular season, the win last week in the chase, not to mention a couple of podium finishes along the way that weren't the victories. Just a strong top to bottom season there for the 19, and a very deserving champion here for QSR Simulations.
Well, that will conclude our season and our seasonal broadcast of QSR. We hope you enjoyed it here tonight, and hope you enjoyed all the action that we brought you here live on Vspeed. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'm sure we'll be going back live here with a great group of people that put this all together. Quentin Stewart, who we tried to talk to here, but has something going on, so we're going to end on the high note here of crowning our champion, QSR Simulations. And for everybody at Vspeed, Adam Baker in the background doing all the things that he does, Eddie Smith and Morgan Cook, our other 2 producers, and Alexander Gagnon being my help up here in the broadcast booth. It was an excellent 5 races that I was up here commentating with you, and you did an excellent job, so I'd like to personally extend that gratitude to you. Any final thoughts, man? Any final thoughts?
Hey, thanks for bringing me on board here to cover some of the QSR Simulations races. They were putting on a good show. It's been a pleasure to work with you and to work with the QSR folks, and looking forward potentially to some opportunities to do some more of that in the future. But as far as the actual on-track stuff that we saw, I mean, I think the action spoke for itself. There was a lot to enjoy in each of the races we saw this season. A lot of tight battles up front, a lot of fuel strategy, and ultimately, I do believe that the best car from start to finish of this season was our champion.
I agree with that. But outside of that, this is Bradley Cooper telling you guys to have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you tomorrow when the VRX World Cup Series takes it live at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Until then, take care, everybody.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America.